graduating cadets of the Air Force that, hey, the next war will not be on our planet. It's going to be out in outer space. And then 2 months later, our beloved president says, we're going to create a Space Force. He was joking kind of the first time. And then all of a sudden, here about a month and a half ago, guess what? He told the Pentagon to start doing research, to create a new military force, the Space Force. And now that you got the Air Force all freaking mad at the president because they figure they can handle it. And the other thing is, I had Steve Bassett on my show, and he said we already have a Space Force. So, maybe it's a smokescreen.
It's way ahead of going to Mars, too. I can assure you that. I've seen, weird freighters leaving Earth, that have that strange bluish energy, massive. It had to be massive from where I was seeing it at. But, me and two other people watched it, and watched it as it just went straight out into space and disappeared into the stars. And living in southern Utah, I have seen some dang strange things, man. Really, really strange UFOs, and it's just we're way ahead of what they're telling us. Way ahead.
Well, yeah, I think they are, and I think they're hiding stuff from us because you know what? War of the Worlds, done in the 30s, right? Orson Welles, that radio show, the people who tuned in a couple minutes later because they were listening to Amos and Andy or whatever the other show was on NBC, they tuned in to War of the Worlds a couple minutes after it was on, and they freaked out. They thought, hey, this world is being invaded by aliens. People were freaking out all through the Midwest. Farmers getting guns, running around looking for aliens. One farmer killed his wife and kids because he thought they were going to, be better off if he killed them than the aliens killing them. And this way people would think, I do think, I blame the government because I think they should have been honest with us years and years ago. And I think if in Roswell, if they would have actually stayed with the original story that if they had parts and bodies left over from a crashed UFO, I think the American people could have accepted it. But no, they lied. It's a weather balloon. And they debunked it, and Project Blue Book. That was just a whitewash on that. So, you know what? People need to, how can I say this? People need to get their acts together. I mean, the same way that you get these group of people that claim the earth is flat. Come on, the earth is not flat. It is definitely not flat because where would all the water go? Is it just, some of these weird thoughts that people have. We need really to start thinking about our own country, our own planet, our grandkids, their grandkids, if they're even going to have any grandkids after our grandkids, because the way we're going at it, I mean, we don't have to nuke ourselves. We're doing a good job of destroying ourselves. It's simple as that. We don't have no system for the grid. If we got a solar flare, it would take out our grid system. You're talking years to get our power back up. And how many people would die in this country worldwide if we lost our power? We don't even make the transformers anymore for the power line. They're all made in India where they can have all this toxic oils they use in it to make it. To build a transformer, just for one, if you ordered it today, it takes 6 months to get it. So, hey, if the power grid went down and thousands upon thousands upon thousands, a transformer blow. What are we going to do? We're going to go back to the Stone Age?
Yeah. It's a scary thought, and no, maybe we won't. And that's the reason, that's the whole reason for Squatch, the Bigfoot Amphitheater, is to bring observation to this. And I hope that we as responsible, intellectual species on this planet can start taking care of this now. We have to save all the bees that are left. And we got to figure out how to bring them back. But when we're spraying this stuff in the sky to possibly deflect the sun rays from the heat of the earth, we are trying to do something that isn't right.
Well, you know what? I'm going to say this, Dale. I don't even think it's to deflect the heat waves from the sun. I think that they're doing is kind of like clouding up the atmosphere for we don't see what's going on because, one of my good guests that comes on every month, she runs a UFO Bigfoot sighting center out of Cashiers, North Carolina. It's called Cashiers, whatever. I'm sorry, Mary, I can't think of it right offhand. I'm tired. But you know what? She had a nice little talk with me on over the air. We were talking about what's going on about Planet X. I mean, if you're in Antarctica, there's a place right now, they're monitoring Planet X. It's actually, well, you can see it from Antarctica because the angle from Antarctica and the sky is so clear, pristine yet in Antarctica. And if Planet X comes our way, which it does every 3,605 years or 50 years, we are in, well, a lot of peril. So, I mean, we're going to have some serious shit coming down.
Agreed. And that's the long run of things. If we don't take care of things now, we may not even see that. So, we're exhausting life on this planet as we know it. We are the ones responsible. We are the ones that are capable of stopping it. We are the ones that are capable of standing up to big corporate and making them more responsible for what they are putting in the atmosphere.
Well, it's not just that, Dale. Look what they do at in places where they pump out millions of gallons of oil, right? Their solution is, okay, we pumped out millions of gallons of oil, but we put water back in. Well, you know what? A thick lubricant versus water, what's going to happen? 10 years later in an oil field, all of a sudden it has this great big, where the land starts separating and spreading open and
caving in.
Yeah, caving in. It's on itself. Well, it's because you took the oil out, right? You took the life of the earth out of it and you put water back in, and you think that's going to make up for the volume of the oil? Come on. And they think that we're that stupid? Come on. A lot of the things that's happening is because of what we do on our own planet. Even when they take out trees, have you noticed out in the forest, they replant trees, right? But you know how long it's going to take to replace the trees they removed? Yep.
And all the creatures that live in, we're trying to make habitats for these creatures. Like the owl that is going to, extinct, and so many other things. But like they don't mess around with the area that I research a whole lot because of this owl that's there. But that's the tip of the iceberg. There are many creatures that we've already seen go. That are extinct because we exhausted, we killed them all out, the buffalo, the wolves, and it changed the whole freaking ecosystem. The whole damn thing. The wolves being a big part of that, and where the deer fed, the vegetation that grew because of the deer. There are so many things that we are doing fucked up, and excuse my language, but I get worked up with this, and nobody really, it's like...
well, where's all the wildlife go? Where I'm at, Dale, I moved here almost 20 years ago. I got almost 2 acres of cedar tree left on my property. I'm the only one around here yet. It has about 2 acres of trees. Everybody else bought their property, right? They logged it off, made the money selling the trees, built their houses, and then what happened to all the wildlife. When I first moved here, there was a lot of deer running around. There were bear. I watched a bear and its cubs walk down the street by my house 20 years ago. Well, I haven't seen a bear in 20 years, let alone any cubs. The deer I used to see all the time, like every day running through my property. Now I might see a deer every couple months. I mean,
and we wonder why Bigfoot throw big rocks at us, right?
Yeah, and then they go deeper and deeper away from humans because that's the only way they're going to survive. The same way the Indians. Remember the Indians? They tried to get away from the white men, and it didn't work. I mean, eventually, there isn't going to be any free land left. It's all going to be gone, all logged off. And, like you look down, South America, you look around the equator, they logged off so much trees. Well, that trees also has a lot to do with our climate. And we screwed ourselves right there. And plus, not just that, how about air we breathe?
Yep, exactly. And it's getting worse year after year. There are some places, where the pollution gets trapped in so heavy, during cold spells and stuff that, I mean, it is literally totally unhealthy. When it comes to...
a lot of old people in nursing homes, elderly, die from it because all that toxins in the air and they're breathing it.
Yep, exactly. And so how, that's us. Can you imagine the little tiny creatures that we can't see? How is that? How are they gasping for air,
Yeah. Well, pretty...
this stuff is that we're breathing, they're breathing too. Can they, what makes them tougher than us or be able to withstand it? They're not. And that's the reason, that's a big reason for this, these outbursts. I believe that wholeheartedly with Sasquatch chasing people off, throwing animals, people's goats. So that could very well directly be because of what they're burning on their property.
Oh, yeah.
And they're having to breathe that, so they take their goats. You piss me off, I'm going to piss you off. How do you like this? I'm throwing all your goats in the tree.
Hey, we gotta run here. Hey, Dale, it's been really good. Again, why don't you tell everybody how to find you on Facebook? And hey, and then again after that, I just want to say, hey, you've been a great guest, and I enjoyed having you on Night Dreams Talk Radio.
Thank you, Gary. I've had a really good time too, and it was good to share this with you guys. You might think I'm crazy, and that's okay, but let's just take care of our home. And I think, whether you think I'm crazy or not, that's not crazy. And we need to take care of Mother Earth the way she takes care of us for many, many, many species, many that haven't even are not even recognized, that we will recognize. And again, Squatchville, the Bigfoot Amphitheater, is a page dedicated to bringing awareness to ancient intelligent life form and the conservation of Mother Earth, and that's something we can all get behind.
Okay.
And I appreciate you letting me share this message and my experiences on your show, Gary. Night Dreams is awesome, and I try to listen in every chance I get. Thank you so much. And if you want to talk about other weird stuff in the future,
I'll give you a call.
Awesome.
Okay, sir. You have a great evening.
You too, my friend.
You take
Good
care.
night.
Yeah, what can I say? I think what we have is created a planet that is not going to be survivable at the rate we're going much longer. I mean, I feel sorry for all the little critters that, well, we keep chasing. And what happens to all the deer? What happens to all the bear as we keep expanding out? I mean, in cases where I live, I'm curious what happened to them. I mean, one day they were here and the next day they were gone. And then I look at all my cedar trees around this area. I mean, they all are starting to get diseased and they look unhealthy. And that's been going on for the last 2 years. And we're talking some trees that are